Hey folks, this is Best in Slot with a quick little news update for Jurassic World Dominion because we've got ourselves a brand new still from the film. The film, of course, out this year. I can finally officially say that unless something terrible happens. We're getting a lot more images and hopefully a big trailer relatively soon. But either way, brand new, still showcasing a brand new character. This is, well, it was posted recently by DeWanda Wise. Hopefully I'm pronouncing DeWanda correctly, but it is spelled in that way. And she's playing this character on the left-hand side. This is not DeWanda Wise. She's playing the character on the left. Now, we've known for a while she's going to be in the film, but we have no idea what role, even the name of her character, as far as I know, we don't know. Her role isn't listed anywhere. She's like not applicable, or she's unknown, or a question mark and all this on all the official sites. So we've never actually seen her in the film, really. We've never got a look at what her character is going to be doing or what she's meant to represent. So this is pretty exciting. This is our very first look. Her and Owen are here in Siberia. We've seen this location pop up quite a lot. Of course, we saw fairly recently Owen in much more suitable clothing than this with the Parasaurolophus, you know, kind of taming it with the rope and the hand on the head and all that kind of jazz fairly recently. As far as we know, Blue is going to be here in Siberia at some point. There is the imagery, I believe it was, I can't remember what it was, like a piece of fabric or something. We've seen Blue in Siberian territories throughout the promotional run for this film, basically. So there's obviously a large amount of content taking place here. And as I've mentioned before, of course, we know that InGen actually had a base in Siberia. So I'm wondering if they're pulling from that, if it's going to be an InGen base, or they're using it as an idea and maybe it'll be a, you know, a Biosyn base or something like that. If we look at Owen first, he is looking much like Owen. Owen always wears these, I think it's called a Henley, it's the name of the top. He wears nothing but a Henley. He just dresses the same way every time. He's got a little knife, not looking like the best knife you'd want to face down, assumedly, a dinosaur. We'll talk about that in a second. And obviously something's happened to his left hand as well. He's got a bit of a bite there. Something's gone wrong. He's had a bit of an incident. But let's focus on DeWanda's character for a little bit. So she seems to be, I mean, if we look at the clothing, you'd suggest maybe military, or it's definitely something active, something involved, something maybe a little bit dangerous. You know, she's got thick gloves on. I suspect, this would be my current theory based on what we're seeing here, maybe she does work for Biosyn, Manta, whoever ends up coming in as these other companies, and she would be their Owen equivalent. She would be the dinosaur handler for this other company. And the reason I'm thinking that is, A, because she's dressed like a dinosaur handler with the really thick gloves for one. That would be although they are fingerless, which maybe not, but the thick gloves are obviously a big dinosaur thing. This clothing is, of course, highly utilitarian. There's loads of pockets, loads of things on there. It's got a slightly military kind of vibe to it. I think they're very clearly trying to contrast these two characters as well. They're in roughly the same pose, and you can see that even both holding a knife in their right-hand side. Is that a knife? I don't know what, that might be I mean, it looks like a knife, but then it's got a taser? I think it's a taser, actually. But it's a very strange-looking taser. But it looks more like a taser. You can see this little beam of electric kind of crackling there, but you can see that Owen's got like this little knife, she's got a little taser, and they're standing in the same pose, they're holding something in their right hand. And I think they're trying to contrast the two. So I think the suggestion here is that Owen is this kind of rough and tumble dinosaur handler working, you know, they're not really working for a big company anymore. They're just trying to, you know, get through things and kind of save the world, or this kind of general Jurassic World kind of jazz. Whereas Wanda over here, the Wanda I should say, is working for a higher tech company, a more developed company. She's got a lot more money available, so her clothes are more appropriate for the situation. Her equipment is more appropriate for the situation. All that kind of thing. So I think that might be what's going on here in terms of the framing of the shot and how they've dressed the characters and stuff like that. But that's pretty speculative. But she does seem to have a dinosaur handler kind of vibe to her between the taser and the jacket in particular. The other interesting thing to note, they seem to be heavily outmatched in this situation. If you look at, you can't really tell with Owen because he's squinting like no one's ever squinted before, but if you look at DeWanda's eye line, you can see her eyes are pointed upwards. I don't know what I'm going to give her a hat now. You can see her eyes are pointed upwards. She's not looking towards the camera, she's not looking down, she's definitely looking up in this sort of direction, implying that whatever they're facing down, and you can kind of see it a little bit with Owen's head shape as well, he's tilting upwards, implying that whatever they're facing down is quite tall, it's larger than them. Now, that means it's not Blue. It's probably not the Parasaur, if we're honest. Would they stand like this for a Parasaurolophus? Probably not. So there's something else going to take place here in the Siberia environment. We know, or at least we suspect, that the Giga and the Rex are going to battle at some point, and that's going to be kind of like the bookend of the film, and that's going to contrast with the scene in the prologue, of course, where the Giga kills the Rex. Maybe that's going to take place in Siberia. Based on what we've seen so far, I suspect that the Malta scenes come before the Siberia scenes. This feels more like a climactic area to me. Malta would be earlier on. Where the swamp, where we've seen Claire, where that folds in, I don't have a bloody clue. I suspect maybe the characters are split off at some point and Owen and Claire are separated once again. Either way, that's a lot of speculation for a single still image. Let me know what you think. What role do you think she's going to play in the film? Have I missed anything? Is there any information out there that I'm unaware of? But I don't believe we know much about her at all. She's got some little canister things here. What are they? Are they shells? Are they gas things? I don't know. Anyways, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I'll see you lovely folks very soon. Stick around for lots more Jurassic World Dominion news when it lands. Cheers, much love as always. Bye-bye.
Reaching out.